of your CMC flexion of the thumb. It's another one of those like ulnar deviations. It's not really going to change planes. You're always going to have it like palm up like this. Okay, so she's going to flexion for the CMC. You're going to ask them to touch the base of their pinky, but you're going to resist like the slightest bit. Go ahead. Okay, so tiny bit of resistance. That's your 3. Your 5, she's going to stay there. You like stabilize the wrist. You're going to resist at the metacarpal. Try and pull her away. And if she stays, she has a 5. Then your 2 is if she can do that without anything at all. Okay?
3 or 2.
The 3, you do like a little bit. Because it's in such a weird plane.
Okay.
That 3, you do like just like you're pulling the skin, kind of like friction. So remember, for ulnar deviation, the friction of the table was considered the 3. For this, like the friction of like your hand is considered like the 3. Does that make sense? Like I'm not like providing like real resistance, just kind of like that.
You do 5 again.
Mhm.
Right.
So she's positioned there. I'm stabilizing her wrist, and I'm just resisting at the metacarpal. I feel like I like torque your wrist. So CMC extension.
Wait, what's a 2?
The 2 is without any.
Oh, I see.
Okay. CMC extension. She starts here. Can you point your thumb up? That's your 3. So position her half. I'm going to stabilize her wrist. And I usually stabilize like the other metacarpals with like my thumb on the other side here. Okay, so I'm crossing over. I'm going to resist at the first metacarpal. 2, 3. It's her 5. And then she's going to be palm down, gravity minimized.
Question.
So, grade 3, keep it there, don't let me push you. Grade 5, grade 2. Palmar abduction, that's this way. So for grade 3, can you bring your thumb up like this? So, palm up, flat on the table, thumb comes up. Okay, that's your 3. Keep it there. I'm going to push again, stabilizing the wrist, just pushing on just the metacarpal. 2, 3. That's your 5.
Wait, you're just pushing on the metacarpal?
Yeah.
Okay, you're holding
Hmm? So she's here. Yeah. Then gravity minimized is the forearm in neutral. So, thumb, MCP flexion, or MP flexion. It's the same funky thing as like CMC flexion. So she's gonna be, can you touch the base of your pinky? So come back again. So I'm just gonna kind of let her slide. Go ahead. Pass like my finger, that's her 3. Now I stabilize the metacarpal, position her halfway, resist at the proximal phalanx. That's my 5. Okay, don't cross over joints. Work on that joint. Or metacarpal. So I'm not crossing over the joint. Since I'm doing the MCP joint, I'm stabilizing the metacarpal and resisting at the phalanx, the proximal phalanx. And then her 2 is without anything. Okay. A 5, so she stays here. I stabilize, and then I resist at the proximal. Okay. IP flexion, it's the same thing. So she's gonna flex, whatever position, go ahead. Oh, you don't have a lot there. Okay, go ahead again. There. So that's like your 3. Then keep it there. Let me pull you. That's your 5. So I'm stabilizing the proximal phalanx and I'm resisting the distal phalanx. So she's here. 5. And then 2, can you bend your thumb? No resistance. Okay. So thumb opposition. She starts with her palm completely flat. She touches her pinky. That's your 3. Then keep it there. I'm going to try to pull her apart. If I can't, that's a 5. Okay. And 2 is actually considered partial range through, like, against gravity. Okay. It's funky. Partial range against gravity. So she would be. Yeah, she stays here.
So would you just say, ask someone to just bring their fingers to, like, as far as you testing us, we know that. Just bring your fingers close together like this, mimic it, and then have to show.
Yeah. So wait. So you mean for 3? For 3, I say, can you touch your pinky to your thumb?
No, like to say to someone.
Like, what do you mean?
Like if
How
were to
would
say-
you?
Like if I'm doing it and during the practical for you and I have to show you that I know gravity minimized, what would I say? Because you don't want to say bring your pinky
Oh,
to
you
your thumb,
just-
'cause that's it.
Yeah. You just tell me that a grade 2 would be if they couldn't
Oh, so I
reach.
just have to say.
Yeah. Just tell me. All right, MCP flexion. A grade 3. So for true, like range of motion, you start extrinsic plus and go into intrinsic plus. So they're coming from here to here. However, she's doing it with her palm up and shooting towards the sky. That's your grade 3. Okay.
Dance off.
Yeah. So keep your so keep your fingers here. Okay, so I'm gonna resist. I'm not like, be careful. So you're resisting all the fingers with like all of your fingers so that you're supporting all of the joints. Does that make sense? Okay, go ahead. And that's your 5. Yes. You just did it. Yeah. Resisting all the fingers against all the fingers. Can you come like this? So gravity minimized is with the foramen neutral.
Can you do a brake test again?
Mm-hmm.
So you just try to pull it.
You're pulling the MCPs into extension. Just go down. MCP abduction. So the resistance of the table gives you your 3. Can you open your fingers? Good. So palm down, spread your fingers, grade 3. So keep them like that. I'm going to try to push your fingers together. Okay. That's your 5. But I'm not going to resist at like the distal phalanx. I'm resisting at the proximal phalanx. Or at the PIP joint. Huh?
So where do we resist?
At the PIP joint or at the proximal phalanx. Okay. Grade 2, you lift them up off the table. So, PIP flexion, what flexes your PIP? What muscle? So digitorum superficialis. So just like how we isolated it before, I want you to isolate it like this. Okay? And that's your grade of 3. So you're isolating PIP flexion. You're going to test the strength. When you're saying your manual muscle testing PIP flexion, you're testing the strength of the superficialis. Okay? So I stabilize again. And I kind of like stabilize her metacarpals along with like her digits that I'm holding down.